How do I turn this, these, this, these, and these into this? I made the perfect homemade Reuben sandwich from scratch. This is a strictly by-the-book, classic Reuben. No deviations. And it took me a whole month to make this sandwich. 1 month for the sauerkraut, 10 days for the corned beef, 2 days for the rye sourdough bread, and of course, there's homemade Russian dressing, including homemade mayo for that Russian dressing. This isn't your typical deli sandwich. This is a painstakingly homemade, handcrafted Reuben, and everything is from scratch. Well, everything but the Swiss cheese. So keep watching to see how I did it. The Reuben consists of 5 main components: the corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, Russian dressing, and of course, the bread. Each of these components has its own timeline, so this is going to take some planning. The thing that takes the longest is going to be the sauerkraut, and that'll be about a month. So let's take a look at my calendar. Considering the time it takes to make sauerkraut, the most time-consuming component, at about a month, I'll have to plan for a Reuben night for about a month from today. Today is the 29th of March, so we'll shoot for the beginning of May 1st. Alright, well let's do this thing. First thing I did was to start on my sauerkraut. To do that, I removed the outer layers of the cabbage. Slice into quarters, and slice with a mandolin. I weigh the cabbage, take 2% of its weight, and that's the amount of salt I'm going to use. I add the salt to the cabbage, and massage it until it softens and water is released. And this is what I'm looking for. A little trick I do is to make more brine so I can keep everything submerged. To do that, I weigh out some water and add 2% salt, just like I did with the cabbage. And if I need to, I'll use something to weigh everything down. It's not shown here, but that's what I ended up doing. Now, roughly 10 days before my Reuben night, I'm gonna start the process for making the corned beef. I start with my spice mix: mustard seeds, coriander seeds, red pepper flakes, whole black peppercorns, cloves, cardamom pods, bay leaves, ground ginger, juniper berries, and cinnamon. Next, I toast them. Listen to that crackling sound. ASMR. Next, they get crushed in a mortar and pestle. Not too much, just enough to release the flavors and aromas when I throw them into the brine. Divide them into 2 portions. Into a boiling pot of water, I throw in my pink salt, 1 of the half portions of the spice mixture, and brown sugar. Then I bring it to a boil. And then, let it cool. In goes the brisket. I'm gonna flip it every day and brine it for 10 days. I like doing a sourdough loaf, so I'm gonna go with the rye sourdough bread just a couple days before. Let's see. I want to have the bread made by Saturday 4 p.m. So working back, I want to bake it at about 1 to 3 loaves counting preheating. I'm going to want a 12-hour cold fermentation on Friday evening and possibly late into the night. So my starter needs to be ready by Friday. So I'll need to take out my starter and feed it and do my auto-lease on Thursday. Let's get started. It's now Thursday morning, and it's time to start the bread making process. So I'll get my starter started and auto-lease my dough. Later that evening, it's time to add the salt and the starter to my dough mixture. And I'll do my stretch and folds over the next few hours. Bulk ferment for roughly 5 to 7 hours. Meanwhile, I'll make the Russian dressing. This is probably the easiest component to make. Now, I can't do all this painstaking work and not go out of my way to make my own mayo for the Russian dressing. I just can't. So I take some egg yolk and add some lemon juice, and slowly add in oil as I whisk. I keep going until it starts to emulsify and I got the right amount of mayo. And now we have a beautiful, homemade, tasty mayo. For the Russian dressing, I start by mincing some onion. Then I take the mayo Mix in some ketchup, add in the onions, horseradish, hot sauce. I'm using Frank's Red Hot, Worcestershire sauce, and some paprika. A Reuben pairs really nicely with coleslaw. Plus, I have enough mayo for it, so I slice some more cabbage, some carrots, cut some parsley, throw in some Dijon mustard, and the mayo, salt and pepper to taste, and more mayo until I like the consistency, and the parsley. And there we go. Now it's been a few hours since I left my bread to bulk ferment, so it's time to shape it. Bench rest. And final shape. Now I proof overnight in the fridge. Today is the day of my Reuben night. I'm planning for a 6 p.m. serving time, so working backwards, I'm gonna need a couple hours for my loaves to cool, so they need to be done by 4, so I have to start them at 3 o'clock, and my corned beef has to get started around 3:30. So when it's time, I get my Dutch oven heated up. In goes the dough. Score. Cover and bake. And look at that oven spring. I'm gonna finish off the bake. Beautiful. Now I get my water boiling. Rinse the brisket in cold water and put it into the pot to boil on low heat for 2.5 hours. Add the rest of the spice mixture. And I'll need to get some Swiss cheese. Trust me, I thought about making my own Swiss cheese, but it would have taken me 3 to 6 months to make, assuming I got it right the first try. I hope you'll forgive me for that. Maybe one day I'll try my hand at some cheese making. But for now, this'll do. Now back to the corned beef. It's been 2.5 hours and my corned beef is ready. Now let's slice into this napun namja. A couple of hours later and the bread should be good to cut into now. Check out that beautiful crumb. Sourdough is magic. We'll go ahead and slice into that. At this point, we have all 5 components ready to go. The Russian dressing, the bread, the cheese, the corned beef, and the sauerkraut. Now we got our Reuben station set up and ready to go. I don't think I need to explain this part. Just watch and enjoy. How to make a Reuben sandwich from scratch, minus the cheese. A month in the making, and it's worth every second. Just look at that face. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for the notification so that you don't miss anything that I put out. Sam's Kitchen Chronicles out. See you next time.